Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dwaj and today we are going to do income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand is not a portion or it's not in the syllabus for IGCSE. It is it's a portion for AS levels. Okay, so IGCSE students, you can watch if you want to pursue AS levels, but it's not for your exams. Remember that. And AS level students, you can watch this for revision. Okay, so income elasticity, as the name suggests, we are going to talk about income, right? Okay, so income. Have you ever seen, like, when you have $100 in your hand, you are likely to spend more, but when you have $50 in your hand, you're likely to spend less than you used to spend when you had $100, right? So this is income elasticity. So your demand has fallen from price 100 to price 50. Okay, so today we are going to do income elasticity. What is income elasticity of demand? What goods are related to income elasticity, like inferior goods, normal goods, necessities, and luxuries? Decision making, like how income elasticity of demand affects decision makings in a firm and businesses. Okay, and government also. And we are going to practice few questions like we always do. Okay, yeah, I have just added this, like this is something. Okay, so before you go on to watch my video, go subscribe to my channel. Yeah, go subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you are notified whenever I post a new video. This is a really nice quote. That's why I put it on my PPT for you guys. Despite a voluminous and often fervent literature on income distribution, the cold fact is that most income is not distributed, it is earned. By Thomas Sowell. Okay, so let's get into the topic, income elasticity, and what income elasticity of demand is. Okay, so income elasticity of demand, or YED. So the short form, like how price elasticity of demand has the abbreviation as PED, income elasticity has its abbreviation as YED. So YED, or income elasticity of demand, is a measure of responsiveness of the quantity demanded of the product due to change in income. So how much change, percentage change in demand would occur if there is a percentage change in income? Okay, so the formula is given on the screen. YED is equals to percentage. Delta means change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in income. And the expanded form is also given: new demand minus old demand upon old demand into 100, completely upon new income minus old income upon old income into 100. Okay, so that is income elasticity. What are the types of income elasticity, or YED? So income elastic YED can be elastic and YED can be inelastic. Income elastic and income inelastic. Income elastic, like we know the words like price elastic and price inelastic, these are known as income elastic and income inelastic. Income elastic is if the change in income has a greater change in demand, then the YED is elastic. So income change is less than change in demand. So change in demand is higher than change in income. Income inelastic is if the change in income has a lower change in demand, then the YD is inelastic. So income change is larger than income change is larger than demand change. Okay, so that's what is meant by inelastic income. That was some animation. Sorry. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the goods related to income, normal, inferior, and necessities and luxury. So these are the four types of good, and this is just simple income demand graph. with the positive elasticity of demand, having income on the y-axis and having quantity on the x-axis, and demand income demand graph is a positive line from the original moving upwards. Okay, so goods in relation to income. First is normal good, where income and demand are positively related, or income is proportionally equal to demand. Inferior goods, where income is inversely proportional to demand. Necessity has in inelastic YED, and luxuries has elastic YED. And I'm going to discuss each of them in detail. Okay, so first we have the normal goods. These are the goods whose demand increase with an increase in income. The YD of normal goods are between 0 to infinite. Okay, so 0 to infinite YED means that the good is a normal good, and there is an increase in income with an increase, there is an increase in demand with an increase in income. Those kind of goods are normal goods. Okay, um, for example, let's take jewelry. Okay, if your income is increasing, you will demand jewelry more, right? So the demand for jewelry increases. Income increases, jewelry demand for jewelry increases, or income increases, demand for gold increases. Okay, so that these kind of goods are normal goods. Inferior goods. Inferior goods, it is a good whose demand falls with an increase in income. As you become rich, you will prefer expensive products rather than cheap ones. So the cheap products are the inferior goods. If you become poor, this means your income fell. You will not and cannot afford expensive products, so you will buy cheap products. YED is negative. An example can be a packet of noodles. Okay, so for example, so this was example, so I'm going to explain you with an example about inferior goods. uh, so in inferior goods, when the income increases, the demand falls. Okay, as we know. So the example over here can be packet of noodles or low quality food items. Okay, so the typical example of inferior goods are poor quality food stuff, such as packet of noodles or low grade rice and vegetables, and used clothing. As consumers become better off, they are more likely to buy less of these and instead purchase more like fish, meat, or superior quality food with increased in their incomes. Okay, so of course, I will not buy low quality grains if I have money, if I have income. Okay, so I will buy better quality, expensive products. So the low quality grains are the inferior goods, because as you're becoming rich, you're switching to high quality grains, making the demand fall for the low quality grains. So they are inferior goods. But for example, like God forbids, you become poor and you lose all your money, for example, so you will not buy high quality grains because you cannot afford it. And if even if you do, you cannot then afford anything else, because it will be taking a large proportion of your income. So you will buy low quality grains, so your income falls and the demand for low quality grains increases. So these kind of goods are known inferior goods. Inferior goods have a negative YED, and the graph shows a line which is like normal price demand uh, graph. Okay, so look, necessities are also normal goods, but goods whose demand does not change much due to change in income. For example, staple food items, the YD is inelastic. YD is inelastic and positive between 0 to 1. Okay, so change in income does not change the demand to a much extent. Okay, so look at this, look at the change in demand and look at the change in price. So these type of goods are known as necessities, and their YED is positive, but they are between 0 to 1. Luxury goods. Luxury goods are also known as superior goods. It has a positive YED and more than one. It is a normal good. The demand responds more than change in income. So example can be jewelry or latest iPhone or any Apple product. Okay. So when there is a slight change in income, there would be a huge change in demand for the same. Okay, so just look at the change in demand and look at the change in price, sorry, change in income, change in income. Okay, so these type of goods are known as luxury goods. They have a steeper slope than necessities. Look, this graph for necessity is steeper, and this graph for luxury is not that steep. Okay, next we have how does YD helps in decision making. Okay, so these are the points that help us in decision making. So first is forecasting demand. YD provides information on how quantity demanded varies with a change in income. It can predict the future demand for consumer goods. Okay. Um, so YD provides information on how the quantity demanded varies with a change in income. It is potentially of great importance for firms and for government in forecasting future demand for a whole range of consumer goods and many services. Like, like emerging markets like China, India, Malaysia, Pakistan, as income increases, then people demand more kind of cars and jewelry and gold. In some cases the demand is for like branded products, okay, to replace the old vehicles, as vehicles or even jewelry. As a result, for cars, car production and assembly plants develop to satisfy demand. Government spending needs to be changed to allocate more resources to build more roads to accommodate the increased demand for personal and business mobility. Okay, so that's forecasting demand, how it helps the firm, how it helps the government. Okay. um, Next is helps to determine the demand during different economic times. If the YD for normal good is greater than 1, then the demand will expected to grow more quickly than consumer income. This is usually the case in times of sustained economic growth. So if a country is going through economic growth, then the income of individuals will increase, and hence forecasting a increase in demand, which will encourage the government to develop the country even more. Okay, so like these kind of economic growths are like experienced by many developing countries such as China, India, Vietnam in recent years. So, but if there is during recession, this can have a really bad effect on the government also, because in recession the incomes of individual falls, the demand for the products will fall, aggregate demand in the country will fall, economic growth is declining, and will not help the government to develop more. Um, so, for example, during a recession, as experienced by some high income countries in 2008, also known as the Great Recession, and also in 2020, the corona virus in 2020. So, the COVID-19 virus had also affected 2020 a lot. So firms producing normal goods suffered reduced demand. Okay, if the YD is negative in case of inferior goods, Firms that produce these ex- can expect the sales to decline when the economy is doing well. Okay, so economy is doing well, individual income increases, and if the individual income increases, the demand for inferior goods will fall. This will this will lead to low demand for firms that produce inferior goods. But if at recession, at the point of recession, if recession occurs, the income falls, demand for inferior goods increase. So demand for these kind of products are likely to increase. Okay, so this is how businesses have to keep in mind about like about how to price their products and how can income affect their products. Questions? Okay. uh, yeah, so the first question is an MCQ. So if pulses are in inferior goods, what will be the correct answer? Okay. A. Demand will increase as income increases. B. Supply will increase to satisfy the increase in demand. C. Demand will fall as income increases. D. Demand will be unchanged as income increases. Pause the video, think about the question, and I will let you know the answer in few seconds. The answer is demand will fall as income increases. Inferior goods have an inverse relationship with each other, so demand will fall as income increases. Why it cannot be A, B, and D? Demand will increase as income increases. These type of products are known as normal goods. Supply will increase to satisfy the increase in demand. Inferior goods are income and demand related, they do not have any relationship with supply. D. Demand will be unchanged as income increases. No, these type of products are called necessities. Okay, unchanged or not much of change. So these are necessities, the D products. So the answer is C. Given the value of income elasticity of demand, which of the following is likely to be a necessity? A. A new pair of trainers with a income elasticity of plus 1.5. A visit to KFC or McDonald's 0.8. Petrol for motorcycles 0.2. A trip to Premier League or football games plus 2.5. Pause the video. I will give you a few seconds to think about the answer and I'll tell you the answer. The correct answer would be C. Why? Okay. So why it will be C? First thing first, necessities. The YD is positive. For this, everything is positive. Okay. Necessity, it has its YD between 0 to 1. So A and D can be removed from the options. So B and C. Now the question says likely to be. Okay. The question says likely to be a necessity, likely to be a necessity, likely. So which is the most likely to be a necessity? It would be C plus 0.2 because it's more uh, inelastic than 0.8. Okay, so this is C is the correct answer because it is more likely to be a necessity as it's more inelastic. Okay, so this is the structured question for 8 marks. Explain how can economists differentiate between a necessity and an inferior goods for 8 marks. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the whole answer. First, I'm just going to tell you the few pointers that you should write so that you can get 8 marks maximum. Okay. So first is define. You should always, whenever you have an 8 marker with an explain, you should always define each and every key word that is given in the question. Okay, so first is define YED. What does YED means? Give the formula for the same. Define inferior goods and necessity goods. State the relationship of income and the demand for each good. Explain how change in demand determines the type of good. Include examples and then conclude it. That's it. So that will give you proper 8 marks. Okay, I will read the answer for you in few seconds. Till then you should work on this thing with the given pointers. Pause the video and write the answer or just think about it. Okay. Okay, so I'll read out the answer. Income elasticity of demand is responsiveness of quantity demand, a change in quantity demand due to change in income. YED is equals to percentage change in demand upon percentage change in income. Inferior goods are goods whose demand fall with an increase in income. YED is negative for inferior goods. Necessary goods are goods whose demand change by small percentage by change in income. The YED is inelastic. So I have covered 4 points. I defined YED, I gave the formula for YED, I defined inferior and necessity goods, and I stated the relationship of income and demand for each type of good. So I covered 4 points. Okay. If the income increases, the demand for an inferior good such as a basic instant noodle, they will fall if a person has money. Okay, if a person has money, then they can buy expensive and high quality meat and fish or food, basic food. The demand of necessary goods will slightly increase as it is YED inelastic. Example, food. If one's income increases, the consumption of the food will remain the same. Okay, so goods whose demand will increase in income, they are inferior goods, and goods whose demand does not change much are known as necessary goods. So I have explained how change in demand determines the type of good. I have included examples such as noodles, high quality food, uh, and food. And I concluded it by saying with so goods whose demand and all of the last part. Okay, so that would give you 8 marks possible. Now this is just an extra thing that I've included in my PPT, and I just thought it would be really informative for all of you. So these are the incomes around across the world, and Bermuda with highest annual income of dollar 117,740. Argentina with annual income of dollar 8,930, and Madagascar with lowest annual income of dollar 480. So these are this Bermuda with the highest annual income, Madagascar with the lowest annual income, and Argentina with a moderate or middle kind of income. Okay. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate that you actually watched the whole video, and I really want you to like my video and comment good things in my comment section. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you gained a lot of information, and I hope it made you revise the whole chapter of income elasticity. And I hope dot dot dot. Okay. I will meet you guys in the next video. Till then, watch these videos that I already have uh, on my YouTube channel, and go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell icon, like my video, comment in my comment section, comment good stuff, please. And thank you, and share with my videos with your friends, family, or whoever is interested in watching. Okay, thank you guys, bye.